and also, and so just starting the recording. My name's Sharon Farrar, and I'm excited to share with you tonight just things I've learned from being in a healthy community. We call it the best health club ever. And it truly has been for many of us. You know, we've made what's called simple changes over time. Janie's on here. She's going to be adding in tonight about different parts of what we present here. And it's just a great friendship that we have also with each other, where I'll learn things from Janie, she'll learn things from me, but we have thousands of people we learn from, and we have cookbooks, we have Facebook groups, we have campaigns of things we're doing. Like in January, we're going to be starting something called, I can't remember, Jumpstart Your Health 2024. It's already too soon to even say it. But we're going to be embracing some guidelines for better health. And these guidelines are proven, you know, they're tried and proven things that are great to do for your health. And I was introduced to the concept of better health, I would say, 24 years ago, when my friend excitedly told me about a whole food product. And she said it's the next best thing to fruits and vegetables. And she also said it's like the invention of sliced bread, you know, it's like a big deal, and its Jetsons come to life. And so she nodded a lot, and I was like, all right, sign me up. I knew nothing about nutrition. And so from there, though, I just started learning. I have a couple master's degrees, none of them in nutrition. Even high school, bachelor's, master's, nobody ever told me about nutrition. Not until I became involved in this community and just learned a little bit here and there. And I'm going to encapsulate a lot of what I've learned, because that's my passion now. And I just love sharing this information. So whatever you can take from it tonight, I just want to encourage you to continue on the journey to better health, because we want to have optimal health, not mediocre health, right? Does anybody want mediocre health? I don't think so, right? We want optimal health. So optimal health means we're aging nicely, not fast, but at a rate in which we can maybe even slow it down and have good health and be healthy when we get older. I love that now on Netflix, they have like the Blue Zone, you know, documentary. They have all kinds of health documentaries. These are things that are telling basically the story of what I've already learned through our community. So between those healthy Netflix things and what I'm going to share tonight, I hope that you guys will learn simple steps to be on your own health journey. So I'm just going to share my PowerPoint here. So tell me, have you thought about optimal health and, you know, what you can do for your own optimal health? You know, what areas would you like to improve or level up in your life? So it could be, you know, exercising more, lifting weights. It could be feeling better, more energy. It could be eating better. So in the chat, if you want to share, I love having some interaction, even though we're on Zoom and we're virtual. It's always great to hear from other people. You know, what are you focused on to improve your health right now? You know, everyone can level up, whether you have children, they're at risk. You know, Dr. David Katz of Yale says they're more at risk due to food than alcohol, tobacco, and drugs combined. So it's really, really important to look at the food everybody's eating. For adults, you know, there's so many adults with autoimmune disorders, and you guys, you know, you can think of some names of autoimmune disorders: MS, Crohn's, colitis, diverticulitis, all these different things that, you know, a lot of them didn't exist a long time ago. And some things, just like type 2 diabetes used to be called adult onset diabetes, a lot of things are now happening sooner to people who are younger. And it's because of diet and lifestyle a lot of times. So adults with autoimmune disorders, what if their immune system could be stabilized? And that's really something I want to talk about tonight. Athletes, what if they had the edge over other athletes? You know, they're working super hard in the gym, they're trying to be their best. And what if they're not fueling their body right? So they can absolutely get some tools from tonight to level up their health. And you can, of course, share this with them later. And so even people who, you know, it's kind of common now, just 40 pounds overweight, you know, it's kind of common. And so unfortunately, though, there's the disorders that we're familiar with, like heart disease and diabetes. They call it diabesity because it all kind of goes together, right? Or metabolic syndrome, they now call it. They kind of change names over time. But cancer even is increased with 40 pounds overweight, 80% more cancer with just 40 pounds overweight. So, you know, people who can level up in that area too, eating the right things so that they can have optimal health later. What about hormones? You know, as women age, they might feel more hormones and menopause and things like that. And there are definite cellular things you could do to keep up your nutrition where that's concerned and balance your hormones. What about men? They need the protective power of fruits and vegetables because they're at risk, you know, for stroke, heart disease, different cancer. So the statistic is like what, 1 in 2 for cancer with men, 1 in 3 for women. I always thought, okay, well, first of all, nobody ever thinks they're going to get it, right? And so I was happy to learn that you have a lot of power. You know, we're not victims of everything that's going to happen to us. So, you know, we are at risk, but that's if we're not doing anything about all this on a daily basis. You know, the habits that you have on a daily basis is what adds up over time. So you want to implement good habits, and we're going to talk about some of those. What about better bowel movements? I know that there are a lot of people that have problems in that area. And a lot of that comes down to fiber. A lot of that comes down to plant-based nutrition. You want to increase your plants. You're going to hear me say that a million times. So let's just have you reflect on how are you taking care of you? Okay. Key essential, of course, is hydration. We have to hydrate ourselves. If we're drinking Diet Dr. Pepper all day, are we hydrating ourselves? You know, are we drinking water? Are we drinking electrolytes when we need them? So think about hydration. We're supposed to drink half our body weight in ounces. So say a 200-pound person, you want to divide that in half. They're supposed to drink 100 ounces. Okay. So that can be more than 8 glasses, right? So you want to keep in mind that we're just supposed to hydrate ourselves. That helps us to detoxify also. Sleeping. You know, we need to sleep so that our good hormones come out to play. We're supposed to stop eating at a certain hour so that you have better sleep. You know, they say 3 hours before you go to bed is a good time to stop eating. So that will help you to have better sleep too. Stressing less. Of course, we need that, you know, and in today's world, we've got to be really cognizant to stress less. We got to actually be very intentional to have self-care so that we don't become a statistic, because stress is actually a culprit in a lot of diseases and disorders because we create some of our own stress hormones and some of our own problems with our thoughts and different things, and also just, you know, common stressors, right? So then how about exercise? That sometimes helps us to de-stress. And so moving every day is a really good thing. I think sometimes, you know, we say, oh, I'm going to do it 3 times a week, or I'm going to do a half hour or whatever. What if you just said, I'm going to move every day? You know, then make that part of your everyday routine instead of trying to say, oh, I think I'll make it to the gym on these certain days. You know, that doesn't always work out. What if you made sure that you walked, you know, 10 minutes of brisk exercise gives you 2 more hours of energy in the day. That's a statistic for you. So that hopefully encourages you. Strength training, that is especially essential as we're getting older. We need more strength to keep us going and not get injured and all that good stuff. Stretching is awesome. Also, eating real food. That's where we're really going to dive in. At one point, I just was astounded with, you know, what people think is real food. And one of my missions became to help people understand the truth about food and let them make their choices from there. So that's where I come from. So here's an example of real food versus not so real food that people might be lining up for. And so real food does not have a label. It does rot, okay, or it sprouts. As you can see in the watermelon example, that watermelon is rotting, and that's because it was alive. So we are live people. We need to eat live food, okay? So once they start, you know, manufacturing food to make it last longer and look prettier, then they might be adding preservatives and things like that, and that's called processed food. So you can see that, that might not rot or sprout, and many of us have collected fast food meals that do not, and they look perfectly good years later. So you want to eat real food. You want to have as much live enzymes in your diet as possible. So even if, like me, you'd rather eat the chocolate cake, you want to also eat the blueberries and whatever other fruits or vegetables are hanging around your house, or in the vicinity. Eat that before you eat the chocolate cake, or eat it right after. Either way. So you want to have lots of real food in your diet, and then you want to make health your hobby. Prevention is definitely cheaper than working to cure once somebody's diagnosed with something. So knowing those statistics in America, we're an affluent nation, but we definitely have some bad statistics as far as diseases and disorders. And so being on the side of prevention and wellness is really worth your time, right? And then being healthy is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It takes time. Make health your hobby, and it will come naturally. So if you think about, okay, what can I make my hobby? Definitely watch documentaries, hang out with people who have the same interest of getting healthier, runners, people who prep, their food, people who are healthy eaters. That's going to be a good influence on you. And also just watching some of those documentaries and all that good stuff. So making health your hobby, and that will help it to become natural for you. So we could spend a lot of time, at the bottom of the cliff waiting for something to happen. Dr. Dennis Burkett says if people are falling off a cliff and sustaining injuries, the problem could be dealt with by stationing ambulances at the bottom or erecting a fence at the top. We put too much effort into the positioning of ambulances and too little into the approach of erecting fences. So we want to be good fence builders so that we don't have to worry about the ambulance or anything in the medical system. Of course, we might need something, but we don't want a whole lot, right? And diet and genes definitely have an interaction. The food we eat interacts with our genes and can increase or decrease our risk of chronic disease. And that's in the Newsweek magazine. And they call that the study of epigenetics. Very interesting if you want to read about that. So we can turn off and on our genes based on our diet and lifestyle. Thomas Edison said many years ago, the doctors of the future will no longer treat the human frame with drugs, but will cure and prevent disease with nutrition. So he was a big proponent of being on the wellness side. And I just want to encourage you guys to think about that yourself. 75% of diseases and disorders can be helped with better nutrition. 150 doctors researched 4,500 studies of what makes us healthy. The only common denominator was a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. And the government is trying all they can to tell us to eat fruits and vegetables. They've done the 5-a-day campaign. They've given us the number of servings, which I'll mention in a minute. They've also shown you that half your plate at every meal should be fruits and vegetables, So it is really essential, and it's something that, we were put on this earth to eat. It's just that we don't eat enough, The statistic is that we might eat 2. That's the average. And sometimes they count things like salsa, ketchup, French fries. So I don't know how good that statistic is either, but you guys know how many fruits and vegetables you're eating, and you can monitor that yourself. So 7 to 13 is the minimum in America, and that's, to prevent disease. And there are different ones around the world. The more, the better. Okay. More, the better. 7 is for children. 13 is for adult men who exercise. So we fall in that range. And the reason is that some varieties have lost 5 to 40% of their nutritional content over time. Okay. That not all of our produce has as much nutrition as it used to. All right. So a couple things you want to know about fruits and vegetables, and I'm going to have Janie share the second thing. Just that's my warning to her, is oxidative stress. I loved learning about this. I'm a little bit of a bookworm, you might say. I would love for you to learn more about it too. And you can put in diseases and disorders, you name it, and just put in like, say, Alzheimer's and oxidative stress, say diabetes and oxidative stress. You're going to see it's highly correlated. So oxidative stress is kind of what's happening at the cellular level as you just breathe. you eat, you exercise, whatever, everybody's got oxidative stress, okay? You have a certain amount, you need to have the same amount of antioxidants. That's where the word antioxidants comes from, because we're trying to combat that oxidative stress. If we don't, we have about 10,000 oxidative hits a day on our good cells. You guys are here today because you have a lot more healthy cells than you have unhealthy cells. So we want to protect those healthy cells. That's how you do it, with antioxidants. Well, where do antioxidants come from? They come from fruits and vegetables, all right? Just like that apple, when you slice it, it's got oxygen coming at it, and on the left is the brown side because the oxygen hit it. But on the right is an example of what happens when you put a lemon on it, right? You guys have seen that in your own households. You put a lemon on it, that's the antioxidant combating that oxidative stress of the apple. Same thing happens on the cellular level. We have to have those antioxidants. Oop, the tower garden just came on behind me. There's a number of noises in the living room. Anyway, we just did a tower garden event in the last hour, and we're going to mention that as well. Let me see if I can just turn that off really quickly. There we go. Just unplug that. Okay, so Janie's going to share the second really important thing about fruits and vegetables. That was the first thing. We need antioxidants from fruits and vegetables. Go ahead, Janie.
Yes, can everybody see me okay? Because for whatever reason, I'm not seeing myself in this view. Is it coming through okay?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay.
It's just a setting.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome everybody. And we're so excited that you can be here because we're all about thriving. Like, I don't know about you, but I don't want to live a mediocre life. I want to live my best life with lots of energy, no matter how old I am. And I was showing this poster this weekend to Jennifer and some other people that I ran across. But if you can see on the right, this is a list of 400 ingredients that are in an apple. But guess, I don't know if anybody can guess how many thousands are actually in there. Plants have what's called phytonutrients or phytochemicals. Same thing, they're plant nutrients. And just in an apple, there's about 10,000 of them, but this is just a list of about 400 of them. So versus if you were, some people ask about multivitamins, and there's been like 13 vitamins identified. If you include all the minerals, it's like maybe 30. And these are things that are plucked from food. They come from food. So eat the apple. The apple has a much wider array. And the unique thing I was telling Jennifer that I had read in this book, From Here to Longevity, it's by a gal called Mitra Ray. And she studies things at the cellular level, kind of like what Sharon was talking about already. And in an apple, there's a measly 5.7 milligrams of vitamin C. So it doesn't sound very impressive. But what she studied was when it's in combination of all the other 10,000 nutrients in that apple, it works like a giant team in God's infinite wisdom. He knew exactly what we needed. And so that 5.7 milligrams of vitamin C actually acts in the body like 1,500 milligrams of vitamin C. So that's just one example of one piece of produce and how powerful whole food is. That apple a day will keep the doctor away. There's a lot of truth to that. Eat whole foods. The American Cancer Society, Heart Association, Dietetics Association, they all mention. Good job, Sharon.
You led right into that.
I did, yeah, I did. The poster on the left is one of my favorites because that is like at least 20 years old, and it's all these places tell you eat lots of fruits and vegetables, eat a wide variety, eat the rainbow, because each one has their different component that makes it powerful for our bodies, whether it's anti-inflammatory or whether it's carotenoids to help your vision or just a wide variety of things. So eating the rainbow and a wide variety is key. And like Sharon said, like, very few people actually accomplish 9 to 13 servings per day like we're supposed to.
Thank you, Janie.
Yeah, do you want
I
to
love
finish add anything else on here?
I love it. Well, we do have one more article here, which I'm sure you're familiar with, right? From Time Magazine.
This is is that the Time Magazine one that Wendy always talks about?
Yes, this says the news isn't that fruits and vegetables are good for you, it's that they're so good they could save your life. So you want to put that into your brain, when you're going to the produce section or you're thinking about growing your own, get it in your body. That's so important, so important. A lot of times people change their diet once they're diagnosed with something. We want to kind of pretend we already are, okay, so that we will stay on track. You just want to stay on track. So some things you could do, if you have younger children, juicing is still fun. We love it. It's great. It's not something that is a lot of times able to be done every single day and with a wide variety, and gets kind of expensive, and you don't have all the fiber associated with fruits and vegetables, but it's still fun and it's good, and it does help shape young taste. Along with this muffin tray, we call it a grazing tray, where you put fruits, vegetables, different healthy things in that tray, and they love it. They just eat out of it. So if you have children or grandchildren, try that, put some fun things in there, put some dips or hummus in there, and they will eat out of that all day. Take control of your own food, plan ahead. This is a salad in a jar, and how to make it. You put the dressing at the bottom, you put the harder vegetables after that, you put the lettuce on the top so it doesn't mix with the dressing, and that actually lasts for days and days and days. I hate to tell you, some people eat this 7 to 8 days later. Not me, because my mind won't let me do that. But it does last for a long time. Then you just dump it out on a plate or a bowl and you're good to go. You can have a gourmet salad. Sometimes people get together, and we can help lead you in this, where you get a group of people together and they bring two toppings and they bring some lettuce, and everybody does that, and you share your toppings. So you never know how gourmet your salads are going to be until you try that, because it's pretty cool. And then, prepping for the week, shop the perimeter. That's where you'll get the fresh stuff, and also planning ahead just helps you to avoid going and eating unhealthy foods, right? And this is Ariani, who lives around the street, and she really preps. I mean, I'm not saying I'm this perfect at all. I have some tools that I use I'm going to share with you guys, but she is a total inspiration for anybody who wants to prep ahead of time. Here's some of the things that are good when you are buying a boxed or a packaged food, okay? Really, the recommendation would be to eat whole foods, that are not processed, but we all have processed foods at times. So first of all, don't trust the cover. That's marketing, okay? It might look so healthy, but you want to actually read the quality of the ingredients. The first few ingredients are the largest. So if it says sugar, then it says high fructose corn syrup, and then it says honey, then it says some other form of sugar, you're going to have to say, oh, that's a lot of sugar. There's always, alternative things to buy down those aisles. I like going to Publix because they have specific areas with the healthier foods, that if you have to go down the cereal aisle, pick the healthier cereals, because they won't have those harmful ingredients also that are up on the top right. They will have gone through the process of not having that. And then look for a short ingredient list, not a long ingredient list. Short ingredient list, like for peanut butter, we buy the one that just says peanuts and salt. I guess you could probably just get the one that says peanuts too, but it doesn't say peanuts, salt, hydrogenated oil, sugar, molasses, and all kinds of other things. It's just peanuts. So look for a shorter ingredient list. A long ingredient list is a clue. That's what these are, clues. For nutrition detectives. And then when you do buy something that's boxed or packaged, look for 2 grams of fiber or more. Fiber is what everybody needs, to keep your body functioning correctly and your bowels moving correctly and you detoxing harmful things. 2 grams of fiber if you're going to buy some kind of packaged food. The fiber in fruits and vegetables and plants, that's already built in. And that's how you can have a healthy diet every day, is think about fiber from morning to night, okay? But if you are on the run, here's some examples of some healthier options. I like to stop at Publix. That's in it's in Florida. But I'm sure you guys have a grocery store wherever you go. And I just try to find like to hold me off. These are things like to hold you off, until you do get home or to a healthy meal. Hummus and vegetables, fruits, salad, sushi. Sushi seems pretty healthy to me. Healthy wrap, rice and bean dish. I like Chipotle, Moe's, Tijuana. I just get like the rice, the bean, and the toppings. and that's a full meal for me. And then a healthy bar on the go. We have some that we recommend: healthy popcorn, hot bars, have soups. Soups are really healthy if you buy the right ones, not if you're getting the ones that are super cheesy and all that, but you can get some really healthy foods, healthy soups on hot bars, like Whole Foods hot bar. We like to do that. And then salad bar in your fridge. You can have like certain things already made up in your fridge that you can combine really quickly to make an awesome salad bar at home. Raw juice is great. Whole Foods Whole Foods kind of quinoa salad. We make one that we can also recommend. Taking an apple, an orange, or a banana with you on the run, having any kinds of nuts with you will hold you off, so that's kind of filling. And then peanut butter with apple or celery, and a smoothie. And we do have a smoothie we recommend that has a lot of good fiber. And so having fiber helps keep your glycemic index very stable. Okay. Well, good nutrition equals good results. A lot of people ask, but what if can this help with this? Can this help with this particular syndrome or disorder? Yes, better nutrition is always going to help with whatever disease or disorder. There's whole aisles like at Barnes and Noble about reversing this type of disease, this type of disease, this type of disease. So the more you can integrate whole food nutrition, which we're going to show you a little bit about, the better. And I did name some of those things you could do. Definitely eating more fruits and vegetables. So here's my before and after picture. Like I said, I knew nothing about nutrition. I had a baby not knowing anything about nutrition. I did try. I read the part of the pregnancy book. Oh, I think I have you spotlighted, Janie. Sorry. Sorry about that. You can always tell me that, Janie. Anyway, so I read the part of the nutrition book, called Best Odds Diet, but how I grew up, I didn't know what they were talking about. I've learned a lot, like I said, through this community. And so the top picture is how I looked with my first baby. And then the bottom picture is how I looked with my third. And hopefully you guys can see the difference. You can kind of just see what healthier looks like. And it's less inflammation, less oxidative stress. People that look like they've had, quote, a hard life, a lot of times they have too much oxidative stress, not enough antioxidants to combat that. So you want to do that to slow the aging process. And so anyway, but I had that third baby at age 40 where doctors were like, oh, you shouldn't be pregnant. Well, I mean, my doctor, I don't know about doctors, but my doctor in particular, I'm like, listen, buddy, I'm so much healthier than I was in that, 8 years ago. And also my second son was born right after that, 7 years prior to the third baby. I said, I'm so much healthier now. I've made lots of changes. I'm not worried about this baby to come, even though I'm 40. And he's like, well, your eggs are 40. They're advanced age. I'm like, she'll be fine. Anyway, so she was, and I'm just happy to say, I have two babies that I was able to have with a healthier diet. I wish I would have had that with my third, but I didn't. Now, a lot of times I had this on my arms, which was not enjoyable, and dermos really didn't know what to do about it. They, of course, give you some kind of lotion to put on, but that's not it, man. When you see what a difference nutrition makes in your skin, you come to realize that, yeah, there's not a lot of topical things you can do for stuff like this. This is your body screaming, hey, you need to take care of me. Okay. And so that's what I needed to do. And so that was helped a lot through better nutrition and specifically through Juice Plus, fruits, vegetables, berries. I started off with the fruits and vegetables. That's all they had way back when, 24 years ago. That is the foundational product. It's 20 fruits and vegetables, the first two bottles, which is raw, vine ripened, and pulverized. And they take out the salt, the sugar, and the water, and they put it into capsule form or yummy gummy chewables. Okay. And so you're getting all that good nutrition in the fruits and vegetables. And then later they introduced the berry blend, and that was made specifically for heart and circulation. And they found really great results with that. And I can share that with you in just a second. And then later they introduced the omega blend, as you can see those ingredients. And the key ingredient in that is that they went down to the algae. The a lot of people take fish oils because they want those omegas, and doctors recommend omegas all the time, right? But what makes the fish healthy is the algae that the fish eats. So our company just said, we're going to bypass that fish. We're going to go straight to the algae. And they added more of these awesome different oils, like from sea buckthorn berry. If you ever read about that particular ingredient, it's pretty amazing. So the company's been around for 30 years doing Juice Plus. They've been around for over 50 doing other healthy things for the families, but they really take their time and making sure it's a very premium product. So when my friend told me about this, I was like, yeah, I don't have vitamins because they make me nauseous. I don't eat healthy. I definitely don't eat, 9 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. Sign me up. It was a no-brainer for me. It made sense right away. And then I started to learn about it. And then I started to learn that every day you don't have enough fruits and vegetables, it's like standing in front of an X-ray machine. So that's where the oxidative stress comes into play. You want to slow that down. And so within 28 days, just on the fruits and vegetables alone, the oxidative stress is reduced by 75%. And there are over 42 studies on this particular product done at universities and medical centers showing great results. So here's what they do. They pulverize, they dry it into powders at low temperatures to preserve the nutrients. Okay, I think I mentioned all the other things. So this is my arsenal. I love the chocolate shake that I'm going to introduce you to. That's where I get like my next great meal and definitely my breakfast. And I take 2 fruit, 2 vegetable, and 2 berry capsules every day. And I'm trying to get better at the omegas. I do take the omegas. It's just, I love the trio blend. And then I'm like, okay, oh yeah, you got to take the omegas. And a lot of people put the omegas on their face too. They love that because it really hydrates their face. But when I do a recommendation for somebody, it's always going to be for the trio blend and our complete shake. It's really done me well over the years. Okay. So when you think about fruits and vegetables, I want you to think in terms of Juice Plus, especially with the capsules, fruit, vegetable, berry. Those are the micronutrients. That has your vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals that go to work on the cellular level of your body. Just like the oil in the car, it's something that you might want to avoid. You don't want to eat your fruits and vegetables. I don't really want to go change my oil either, but that is actually what's going to help us not burn out our engine in both circumstances. Okay. We don't want to burn out our body engine and we don't want to burn out our car engine. Now, the next thing is, what am I going to eat? What is the healthiest meal I can eat? Hands down, the Juice Plus Complete Shake has been said to be one of the healthiest meals you can have. And that's from Dr. Pam Popper, who's in the movie Forks Over Knives. She has a wellness forum where she collects diaries of what people eat for breakfast. And that's what she said about our complete. And I'm sticking with it. It has complex carbohydrates and plant proteins, and we just mix it up. I love chocolate. We have chocolate or vanilla. I love adding some kind of almond butter or peanut butter. I add almond milk or soy milk or rice milk, some kind of plant-based milk, and lots of ice. I like to make it like a frappuccino at Starbucks. And that's how I start my day. You can add in some veggies if you want. You can add in ground flaxseed if you want, chia seeds, all kinds of things you could add in, because a smoothie is a vehicle delivery system for good nutrients. Okay. And the shake itself is a way to get really good plant-based protein. Here's a picture of the gummies, fruits, veggies, berries. Here's a picture of the capsules. And here's a picture of our bar, which is actually mirrored after our complete shake. And it's all very healthy for you. And of course, we can get with you if you want to try any of that or you want some labels or anything like that. But I definitely recommend that. This doesn't seem to fit, right? It's like, what does this picture have to do with anything? Well, this is what people are turning to for energy. But if you have the right foods in your diet, you don't need this, okay? If somebody comes to my house and starts falling asleep, I just think to myself, they just need nutrients at the cellular level. That's what Juice Plus does for me. I have a lot more vitality now in my late 50s than I ever did in my 20s, my 30s, where I was turning to M&Ms, Coca-Cola, anything I could do on a long drive but it wasn't working. I had to pull off the side of the road to sleep whenever I was traveling over 3 hours. So people are turning to this, but really they just need to eat better. And I just want to encourage you also to share Juice Plus with them, because the statistic is people are not eating fruits and vegetables. And I don't know if you telling them to is going to work either. So I love that you can have over 50 plants in your diet before you leave the house, and that's through the trio blend and the complete shake. And it helps to grow your families with better nutrition. This is Emma. When she was little, she'd come home from school, make a strawberry smoothie. She's got the flaxseed there, the vanilla shake, and the kids have just grown up with that. And our shake is gluten-free, and it's yummy, and it has fiber, and it tastes good. So you can make all kinds of things. You can make a bowl with toppings. You can make muffins. You can make protein balls or bars, all kinds of things. And I'm going to turn to Janie, so you can hear from her of how Juice Plus has helped her family thrive, especially through the family health study.
Thanks, Sharon. Yeah, it really has. And I love that word thrive. I shared that earlier because in my case, I had two sickly young boys. They had asthma and allergies when they were younger. And we did everything the doctor said, but unfortunately they did keep getting sicker as the time went on. Monthly, they would catch every little bug that was going around. And I was beside myself. I had the elders of our church praying for them because we were missing tons of family parties, and I was concerned they would be antibiotic resistant by the time they joined grade school. And so thankfully a friend of mine introduced me to Juice Plus, and I was shocked to hear that something actually had research on it. At that time, they only had one immune system study through the University of Arizona. But that study totally opened my eyes to health and nutrition, and everybody knows you should eat fruits and vegetables. And I was good about feeding them to my kids. So at first I thought, gosh, I feed my kids well. Why would I need this? But then I also thought, what I'm doing isn't working. They're sick all the time. Like, what is the missing piece? And the quality of Juice Plus is amazing. Like Sharon said, it's picked when it's ripe. We can't get that in Illinois year round, and most of the country actually. So being picked when it's ripe and then eating it right away, that's huge. Juice Plus, they pick it right away, and then they clean it thoroughly. Like Sharon said, they pulverize it and reduce to a powder through a cool process to maintain that nutrient content. And so by adding that wide variety of fruits and vegetables to my kids' diet through a gummy form, within the first month was the first time they hadn't gotten sick in a long time. And I was shocked, and I was floored, and I was relieved that I wouldn't have to count their respirations at night, or that I could get a good night's sleep, and that we could start not missing all these parties. And my boys actually, after a few months, we went back for another doctor's appointment, and we didn't have to constantly go to the doctor all the time like we had been. But they had actually each grown. One grew 4 inches and one grew 5 inches within the first few months of being on Juice Plus. And I know that's unique, and that's not something I always share, but that was a shocker for both of us. We didn't realize that would help too. But if your body is starving for nutrition, and then you're giving it a wide variety of very nutrient dense produce through, in our case, it was the gummies for our boys. It made a world of difference. And for myself and my husband, after that first month of the health transformation for our boys, we decided well, we better start on this too. So we did. He had borderline cholesterol, and thank God for Juice Plus, because it helped his numbers, so he never had to take medicine for that. And then I actually had several sinus infections per year that I would get. And over time of adding this nutrition to our diet, I was able to, that doesn't happen. I might get one sinus infection per year now, versus I just thought that was normal to be that sick all the time. And it's not. Your body is just starving for nutrition. But yeah, reading that first study from the University of Arizona, really opened my eyes to how unique Juice Plus is, that it would actually have research article that good and that good that a major publication would want to publish it. That's huge. And Juice Plus has over 40 of those publications in top leading medical journals around the world. So it's a pretty big deal.
Thank you, Janie.
Yeah.
And our latest study is on cognitive function, that Juice Plus capsules improve key cognitive processes. And that was a double-blind, randomized, placebo-controlled clinical study on healthy young adults, and found that it helped working memory, selective attention, processing speed, and executive function, which is huge. You know, nutrients just help every part of the body, really. And so, you know, eating lots of fruits and vegetables does that also. It's just that, like I said, not everybody's eating a ton of fruits and vegetables. And with Juice Plus, you're getting that wide variety. So here's just a summary of what all has been proven. As Janie said, you know, with the product, it gets absorbed into the bloodstream, helps it helps lower your oxidative stress, because it's increasing those key antioxidants within 7 days. But after 28 days, it gets rid of almost by 75% the oxidative stress that I feel like you guys should look up for sure and see how much that is implicated in any disease or disorder. And then the immune system is better within 80 days. The T cells are up, the natural killer cells are up. Your DNA is less damaged by 20 to 66%, depending on which study you look at. It's been done on all different populations. Lung health, you know, I'm just grabbing some of these. There's 40 something studies you could learn about. And those are on juiceplus.com. And so lung health, it supports several parameters of healthy lung function. And I remember reading better pulmonary function. That's what sticks with me. And then, you know, with a heart study, one of the things that sticks with me is when they took people to have a high fat meal at a certain fast food place, which actually induced blood vessel constriction. The fruit and vegetable capsules helped by 62%. The fruit vegetable berry capsules helped 99% to basically reduce the blood vessel constriction. So with your arteries, actually, where your arteries usually would be constricted, it helped to lessen that by 62 to 99%. So even though people are eating high fat meals, they might not be as at risk. So that was a very, very big study. It was published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology. It was on WebMD, called Big Mac Attack. And it's pretty significant. And, you know, we can send you that if you'd like to see it. Healthy skin, better hydration, thickness, and circulation. You know how much people spend on their skin? It comes from the gut. And we do have a study showing better gut microbiome, and our Juice Plus the caps plus the shake helps to feed that microbiome. The shake itself has Jerusalem artichoke, which helps because it's a prebiotic to the probiotic. There's just so much to talk about. Don't get me started. You already got me started. Anyway, so but I want to tell you about my husband. You know, he's been on a health journey. Juice Plus has protected his heart through many fast food and fatty meals, and he is an example of you know, making simple changes over time and being protected by Juice Plus while he was in that transition. And you know, there's people out there that I'm sure you know that could use it as well. I do feel like men are super at risk, especially when it comes to cardiovascular health. And so Juice Plus has been proven to do many, many things to help with cardiovascular health. There's over 5 studies now. And then it helps to encourage men also, in particular, they love machines, okay? We are all loving our tower gardens, whether we're male or female, but he got really, really into it. And a lot of people did, especially during COVID and the pandemic and all that stuff. And people really wanted to take control over growing their own food, and they still do. You know, people are really loving the tower garden. This is a vertical, which means you don't take up a lot of land. Hydroponic, which means water. Aeroponic, which means part of the time air, is letting the roots get more strong during the aeroponic time. System, of growing. Okay, so say that, say that with me. Vertical hydroponic aeroponic system of growing. And you can grow 20 to 28 different plants. I think these are the extended version where he's got 28 different plants on each one of those towers. And so we like to give away to our neighborhood. We like to have people come by. So we love to have a lot of variety and a lot of tower gardens going, and it's just an inspiration. And we love to teach kids, you know, healthier eating through that. And he's been on his own simple changes. And if you've seen him lately, he's looking really good. He's now a vegan. I'm not telling you guys to be a vegan, but you know, over time you make those changes and you just start eating healthier. That's all. And we have an awesome group we'd love to put you in to inspire that. This is the home version. The other version I was showing you was 20 gallons at the bottom. This one was invented actually for places like Japan where they really don't have a lot of space. So it's like 2 feet in diameter, where you can move it in and out of doorways and stuff and grow indoors. That's the home version. The tower garden helps plants grow 3 times faster, and this is all documented at University of Mississippi. Increases the yield by an average of 30%. Clean, sustainable food, 2% of water. You know, I love that because I remember having a dirt garden, and that was my biggest problem was I did not want to go out there and water the garden. And so it also takes a lot of water to get, you know, through the dirt. And for how many hours does it need to have water, you know, sustained throughout the day, and especially in Florida. And so it also is very good tasting and nutrient dense produce. When you go in the produce section, I want to encourage you to pick out things that look like they're nutrient dense. You know, what's the point if you're buying some wilted lettuce that doesn't have good color? The pigment is the way you can identify, you know, what is this going to help? The darker greens will help with iron, calcium, things like that. Reds will help with other things. So purples will help with the brain circulation. You want to pick really nutrient dense and colors. All right. So I just want to say, what's your plan? You know, Jim Rohn says success is 20% skills, 80% strategy. What's your strategy to optimize your health? You know, what are you doing on a daily basis? I want to encourage you to have healthy habits. And, you know, Juice Plus is a really simple and one of the most effective and significant things you could do for really not that much. Okay. And we'll get into the pricing in a second. Just so you know, an apple costs about $1 a day, right? So when I tell you that Juice Plus doesn't cost that much more than 1 apple a day, it's the truth. How much is this acai bowl? You know, like, have you bought one lately? It's like, what, $10 at least? And what about these kinds of juices? People are moving toward juices and things like this because they're understanding now that this is really important to have fresh raw fruits and vegetables. And a lot of times, you know, depending on our lifestyle, we're not eating the foods that are on the right. We're not eating all those. We might eat some of those and we might eat some of the ones on the left. Juice Plus is to bridge that gap. The Juice Plus fruits, vegetables, berries in capsule, the omega in capsule, the complete shake. We also have a perform shake, which is a pre and post workout shake. We could give you more information about that later, but all those things are to bridge the gap. And then the Tower Garden, of course, is to inspire you to eat more. Come January, we're also going to share with you all the other things that will really help you to get healthy. This is what we call the Shred 10. It's 10 different things you can do that will help you to detox your body and get your body in the best shape. And these are things that if you did look up, you know, prevention or wellness, you're going to find these things listed, as well as eat more fruits and vegetables. Okay, so having your Juice Plus, having 1 to 2 complete shakes a day, lots of water, deep breaths. Remember that, stressing less, getting your good sleep, exercising. These are all things I talked about in the beginning. Then we go to some of the things we might not want to hear. Reducing or eliminating caffeine and alcohol, not eating after 6, not eating processed foods. And this is for 10 days. We do that so that we can kind of keep moving toward a healthier lifestyle, eliminating during those 10 days gluten and dairy, artificial and refined sugar. So if you want to join us on that, you can do a shred or you can do a semi-shred where you adopt some of those and then you work on the other ones over time. So we're going to be having different Wellness Wednesdays where it'll showcase healthier foods. We have some recipe books, things like that. So stay tuned for that in January. So how much, in my opinion, I got a better body out of the deal. Okay, so how much does a better body cost? The duo blend, just the fruits and vegetables, is only $1.80 a day. So I like to say, what if you took $1.80 to the store? What would you get? You know, not a whole lot. The omega is $1.09. The trio is $2.50 a day. The quad is $3.50 a day. Like I said, what I recommend is the trio, and that's $2.50 a day. Remember, the apple costs about $1. How much everything else? How much if you buy some berries? So you can't even hardly get berries all year round, and they cost a lot. So this is just something that you're probably spending anyway if you're buying fruits and vegetables, or maybe it just needs to be part of your grocery budget. And it's really a habitual thing that will make sure that you get enough fruits and vegetables and that protection at a cellular level every day. And then the complete shake is $2.50 a serving. The Tower Garden, I went ahead and figured out how much that is a day, because you just pay for it over a year and it lasts you decades. We've had ours 12 years. The Tower Garden is great. It will pay for itself. It will keep producing vegetables and herbs. And every time you chop it, it kind of grows back. The complete shake is a meal replacement when you add other things to it. So that can just substitute for whatever you have been eating or drinking for one meal. And then the trio blend or the quad or something like that, that would actually right now, they're giving away 20 servings of complete shake with a trio or quad order, just so you know, because they want you to have that jump start 2024 to be ready for that. And then you can either do that, or you could do the family health study where you get the Juice Plus free for children. It's one or the other at this time. And the 20 complete meals is actually with the capsules too. That just came out like today. So that's why you hear me stumbling a little bit on that. It's great though. So what are your options? Eat more fruits and vegetables, definitely. Take any advice as far as eating from tonight. Become a Juice Plus customer. It really is the simplest thing you could do. Whether you come in at the duo with just the 20 fruits and vegetables, the trio with the 30 fruits and vegetables, the quad with all 4 blends, or the chewables, all 3 blends, or the complete, along with it, up to you. But we encourage you to do some form of getting more nutrients in your diet. Become a partner. I don't regret becoming a partner. I'm so glad I did. I was really not on a good health trek, and this, being in this community, you really learn a lot. And then of course we encourage you to share with other people, and that will help to offset your own cost. For me, it was my mom, my mother-in-law, who's still on it. Both of them are 81 and 82, doing really well with Juice Plus, and their stories are phenomenal. And so those were some of my first customers along with us. Of course, if you have family that you care about, this would be something you could share with them. And our mission is to inspire healthy living around the world. If you've thought of a bunch of people that you want to share this with, then maybe you want to make this part of your career as well. So consider that. And I'm going to turn it back over to Janie, who organized this for tonight.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. I hope that you have learned some tips on how to help you yourself and your family thrive. And if you have any questions, please reach out to both Sharon and I regarding any of what was covered tonight. Hope you all have a Merry Christmas.
Wonderful. I'm going to go ahead and stop the